Did you know that toxic or neglectful relationships don't just hurt your heart, they can derail your health, your joy, and even your business success? Today's guest is on a mission to change all of that. I'm your host, Beverly Cornell, the founder and fairy godmother of Brand Clarity here at Wickedly Branded. We've helped hundreds of overwhelmed, overachieving consultants, creatives, and coaches awaken their brand magic and boldly bring their marketing to life so that they feel more confident and attract their absolute most favorite and most profitable clients. Today, I am joined by Chaya Garcia, also known as the Epic Love Entrepreneur. She's a dynamic speaker and relationship expert who founded the hashtag Love Lighter movement to help women light up their own love. She empowers high-achieving women to choose healthy partners, heal from the past, and create epic love that fuels their lives. I am so excited for this conversation. Welcome, Chaya.
Thank you. I love it. It is so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to talk a little bit how you get to an epic love movement, because that's a big deal. Let's go back to the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. What was the spark and what did those early days look like for you, Chaya?
Yeah, so there's two different components to my business. One is now, where I'm global and I'm all over the world and I speak on really big stages. I'm now married in my 8th year with kids. And then there was a different part where I was single and changed my job from working for someone else to working for myself. So if you were to gauge that question to those two stages, which one would you want more direct questions on?
The one that really made you the entrepreneur you are today. Which one informed you more?
The truth is, I always planned on doing big things and changing the world. God just niched me down. So basically, I guess I'll start from more recent. I had a private practice that I kept when I started my company. Then I realized you need to get a really healthy relationship with money. You need a lot of resources if you're going to do any positive impact in the world. So for me, that spark was I came back from an event. Someone ran an ad, $500, go to this event down 30 minutes away. Yeah, sure. Spent the money, showed up. And then at the end of the event, I was like, Adam, you need to quit your job. Adam is my amazing husband. And since we're in our 8th year of marriage now, and for almost 8 years, he's had one job, really well paying in high tech. And I was like, Adam, you have to quit your job. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like a perfection of stability. And I was like, I can't heal the world if I don't have you helping me with all the back end. It was a really beautiful, emotional mess. But at the same time, it was a pivotal time now in my entrepreneurial journey that if you don't go all in, you're just out. There's no cheap options in an entrepreneurial journey. You either are doing it for something bigger and beyond you, or you lose. Because if it's only focused on yourself or money, you don't have the energy, you don't have the drive, you don't have the consistency, and you definitely can't handle the pain. So for me, it was that moment when I restarted it to go global that sparked if you're going to do this, you got to go all in and you got to go now.
How did it feel to make that decision? Because it feels like it might have been a little scary. And the things that scare us sometimes are the best things we need to do. They go out your comfort zone. They push you to really be more in alignment. It's very scary to make some of these choices and decisions. So how did you overcome that?
Fear means go and go faster. And I just love that. And so I've trained myself. And I'm also a very godly, faith-based person. So I'm like, okay, there's just two different energies in the world. There's the God energy that wants you to go and create and fulfill your purpose. And then there's the evil energy, or what I like to call is just the stagnant. How I perceive it is that energy just wants to keep you stagnant, like not growing. And fear is his arrow of just keeping you stuck. I'm fully aware that there's great resistance before massive blessing, action, transformation. So I've gotten comfortable feeling that resistance as an indication of I might feel so uncomfortable, but it's a sign that there's something great of creation that could come from this.
That's beautiful. I definitely am a very faith-based and believe in God as well. But I called those doubts and those fears the flying monkeys of distraction. Like they really want to get in there. I'm a very imaginative, creative person. So I have this whole visual in my head of these flying monkeys of imposter syndrome and perfectionism and doubt and fear. Like they have names and I literally have to bat them away. Not today. We're not doing this today. I know for myself, it has totally changed how I handle those moments of uncertainty and fear. And the idea we talk about, you're not born with confidence. Although my 9-year-old, my 10-year-old now has a whole lot of confidence. You have to build your confidence. And when you bat those away and make those choices again and again for yourself, you build confidence in a way that now it's a lot easier to bat them away because I've done it. I have confidence in it. But
Yeah.
it's beautiful when you make those choices for yourself and not based on fear, or I call it the should suitcase too. We have a should suitcase from society that tells us all the shoulds we should do because we're women and we are business owners and all the things. And when you can set down the should suitcase and bat away the flying monkeys, that's where you're supposed to live. And that's a really wonderful place for it. So I love the idea of getting comfortable doing that because that is your confidence. That's your zone. That's when you know I can do this. I can trust myself that no matter what, I can make this work.
Yeah. And I think a big thing that makes it a better, more enjoyable process is to remove timelines. It's like when I decide that I know what I want, then there comes some form of internal pressure that I create. God is like beyond time and space, and I am very finite. He's infinite. I'm finite. So I'm like, okay, so I decided what I want. Now I want it now. And what fuels me in a negative way is when I feel like I'm not there yet. And what fuels me in a positive way is, but you're gonna get there and everything is in its perfect time. And what do you have to do today? What will make you proud if you accomplish today? What will make you proud of yourself if you accomplish this week? Because I think as entrepreneurs, we're really driven souls and it's a powerful thing. But like we were speaking about earlier, with power comes a lot of resistance and fear because the devil or whatever you want to call him, the stagnant energy is, don't do it. It's too scary. Just try again later. So for me, it's like coming to this place of not feeling inadequate because I'm not where I want to be yet, believing that there are processes and steps that I need to take and that eventually I will get there.
So do you follow Taylor Swift?
No. I like her. I just don't follow her.
She's like the most epic pop star of our generation, for sure. She's super smart and brilliant, all these things. And she does all these Easter eggs for her fans. And from a marketer's perspective, she's brilliant. I just love all the things that she does and how she speaks to her fans and treats them. She really is quite special in her own right. She did this thing on her tour where every night at the end of her Eras tour, she would go and dive under the stage. Her last concert, she had an orange door come down. And she said it was like leaving one era, going to another era, like opening a door of possibilities for herself. This wasn't the end. I actually have goosebumps like talking about it. Like it's not the end. There's something more on the other side of the door because her Eras tour was about all her different eras that she's done so far, right? So it's not like this is the culmination of her life. So she not only did it from a mental perspective, but she did it from a very physical perspective for herself. And I think that was such a gift for herself to, there's more on the other side of this, even though this has been the most amazing tour, the biggest ever, all these accomplishments she's had because of it. And so even when you're so successful, it's still important to make those choices. And the other thing that kind of came up for me when you were talking, Chaya, is the idea of the book of The Gap in the Gain. Have you read that book?
I have not, but I'm going to add it to my list. I buy books like other people buy candy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love a good book. So The Gap in the Gain talks about how you need to live more in your gains and less in the gaps. I don't have this thing, but what I do have is this. So I'm this much closer to the goal. And it's just because I haven't reached the final destination, which entrepreneurs are notorious for moving the goalposts. So we are constantly changing the destination, sadly not living enough in successes that we do have. But this idea of I'm that much closer. I like timelines. I take a goal, I break it into 10 steps. But even if I don't finish the goal, I am so much closer than I would have been had I not made a plan and been intentional about the thing that I wanted to do. So recently I've written a book, but I also have a new book in the works. And I'm like, I just need to find the right publisher and editor for this book. And when you say something like that to the universe, like things shift and unlock and like serendipity and all the things start to happen when you are intentional with what you want. Even though there wasn't a timeline, it was just like, in the next year, I'd like to figure this out. And somebody became a guest on the podcast and she was a publisher, editor. And I was like, she was perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Somebody I jive with, somebody I like their business practices, somebody who gets me. And we just had great chemistry from the very beginning. So I feel like you said, when you sit back and there's some things that happen outside of even your own control that's shifting to how things happen when you are intentional like that. Even if you don't have a timeline or don't have all the details worked out, things can come to you when you're open to the possibilities and opportunities.
100%. And it's just about staying in that gratitude, staying in that present moment. Like you said, we're always going to have goalposts moving or bigger goals. And we're meant to grow. We're meant to think bigger and how we can do more and more. But at the same time, if we miss the gratitude, if we miss the present moment, and that's something that I really worked on this year, I tell myself every single day has its own flow. And as someone who went to program, I dated an addict, which is part of my origin story. I didn't really understand addiction like at all. I didn't understand that I had codependency. I just didn't know anything of it. I had 2 degrees. I was a very successful person. No one teaches you about the illness that can live in your mind. So I started going to a program, the Nar-Anon, which is Al-Anon for narcotics users. It's for friends and family members of people who do drugs. I went to Nar-Anon, and basically one of the slogans of the 12-step program is one day at a time. So many years later, I transitioned it to my own way. Every single day has its own flow. And what really drives me to not hurt myself emotionally / mentally is I tell myself, I just don't want to get sick as I make my millions, because I hang around a lot of millionaires and billionaires. And the truth is, in business, a lot of people who scale and aren't very successful are very sick physically. I was sick mentally, but physically, their bodies break, their relationships, and they have high levels of addiction, immorality. So I'm like, you're going to make your millions, you're going to change the world, but you're also going to do to enjoy, be present for your family, and keep your body healthy because you're not overly stressed.
So how do you do that? Because I feel, I'm going to say this very lovingly, I feel a little attacked because I'm 50 and I've had a lot of health problems. I have had major hip surgery. I'm having some heart issues. And for me, what has helped me stay centered has been having a coach and a therapist. But maybe that's different for you. I feel that you see me in that sense because I made some very intentional decisions 2 years ago because I was unhappy, overwhelmed, burnt out. That suitcase was very heavy. And I decided to invest in myself because that is not success to me. That's not happiness. I was an accidental entrepreneur. So I didn't have this big grand plan. And all of a sudden clients started dictating my business and I wasn't in control of my agency. I almost quit. So by cleaning house and doing the things, I was able to take back some of my agency and do the things that bring me joy, that bring me more peace, that give me more purpose. And like I said, I invested in a coach and started with a therapist. I started actually working on some of that stuff. And I have taken back my time. I've taken back the activities that drive me, not drain me. I've done so much intentional work to do that. My clients are the same. They're overwhelmed overachievers. That's who they are. They're women who are working hard. They're doing their things and they want to help the world, but they're losing themselves in the process. So how do you balance that?
So our body, when it starts to deteriorate, are basically traumas in our bodies. And it's just resentment, anger, or guilt. Essentially, it's a lack of forgiveness for people who have hurt us, for people who have abused us, for things that have happened to us, or things that we've done that we're ashamed of. When your body gets sick, it's just a representation. It's a manifestation of illness that has accumulated over time till it literally turns into destruction or deterioration. So for me, like I'm so aware of that I consciously choose not to hurt myself, even though you want to or you think it feels right. It's just so much forgiveness work. I love me. I forgive me. I forgive the people who hurt me. I never want to hold resentment and anger. And I will be that hurt person who will then hurt other people, usually by accident. And then I am just the creator and continuator of hurt people hurt. And if I really don't want to do what has been done to me or what I'm ashamed of, then I need to learn to love myself. Loving yourself, forgiving yourself, accepting yourself is the culmination of a joyful life where you are not breaking down physically or emotionally. And then in answer to your question, how I do it, one is I focus per day. The other thing is I happen to be in an extraordinary marriage. That helps. I worked really hard on myself to attract such an amazing man. But I do a lot of things. I take vitamins. I exercise regularly. I drink a ton of water. I eat ridiculously healthy. I spend quality time with my kids. I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch movies. If I watch, it's something of education on business or healing. And I pray and I write myself love notes every day. The most important thing is that I know that I need a relationship with myself if I'm ever going to be truly good to my clients, to my husband or my kids. For me, it's like, I need me first. So loving myself, I understand, even though some days it's easier than others, is the point of joy and health. And I want to be there for myself and others. So I keep going back.
What is resonating for me and what I am feeling when you talk about that is this idea of focusing on yourself and the healing of yourself, the love notes. I love the love notes. I give myself permission slips. But this idea of loving yourself to attract and to get the kind of relationships you want in life, like with a partner and also in business. So what are some intentional things we can do for ourselves besides the love notes to be more intentional about who we are so that we do get the perfect partner for us? We do that work with our clients. It's so funny. I joke I'm a marketing therapist when I do some of the work with them because I look at where they've been, where they are, where they want to go, and the challenges they're facing. And I can see things differently than them. So I can look at that and say, that seems like a confidence issue, a mindset issue. I see things in them. And once they do that mindset work, maybe I even challenge them to do some things like write their eulogy and what they want their legacy to be. And they start thinking differently about what the future looks like. They start to attract the perfect clients for themselves. And I feel like you can do the very same process for yourself with a partner. So talk a little bit about how that works, what the thought process is behind that.
So I think a really big foundational component / mindset that I teach is going to be the title of my podcast. The Epic Love Show, because that's what I do with all my stuff. I teach people how to go from to epic in love, truly. And so I work with single women to help them attract their best partner they love in romance that's sustainable and successful. And essentially, I can guarantee them that if they learn the courses that I teach, the information that I teach, that they'll never be abandoned. The next one will be the one. And it's a really big promise, but I've studied one thing for 20 years. I've done it myself. I've seen it over and over again. So I feel pretty confident in the proof of the success. But the work isn't easy, simple, but not easy. Part of that is really just believing that you're 100% effed up and 100% lovable. If you can really believe that, you're a superpower. See, most women know the crap they've been through. They know their dark side. They know the weird stuff they've thought about. They know the stupid stuff they've done. They hold on to a lot of shame for people who have hurt them. Everyone has their own crazy story and they've done things that they're not proud of. And so they think that they're less than. There's like a belief system inside of these women, these beautiful women, that like, if people only really knew my crazy side, my weird side, my dark side, like no one would really love me. Like I have to be beautiful. I have to be happy. I have to be an inspirer. I have to give.
The shoot suitcase.
Yes. So when you believe I'm 100% effed up and I'm 100% lovable, your shit suitcase has nowhere to go. Everyone has their own weird stuff. By the time you're an adult, everyone has had traumas. It's just the way life works.
All the trauma makes you an interesting person. If you had no trauma, no experiences, you would be the most incredibly boring person and have no empathy or compassion for the world around you.
A lot of people have trauma and no empathy because they're hard on themselves for their trauma. That's why they attract the wrong partners who facilitate and continue the abuse without their intention. They don't want to continue the abuse. They don't want to get left. They don't want to get abandoned. They don't want to get cheated on. But if you've gone through trauma and you don't process it properly, you're a hurt person who continues to hurt, even if that's not your intention. So it doesn't develop empathy unless you become empathetic to yourself and you do the second part of that belief system, which is, and I'm 100% lovable.
Hey, I know you're listening today because you're ready to take your business and your brand to the next level. But if you're being honest with yourself, maybe even feeling a little bit lost, but you've got this big vision and you know that you're meant to make a bigger impact. But sometimes it's so hard to know where to start and which direction to take. Does that sound familiar? You're not alone. So many purpose-driven entrepreneurs feel the exact same way as you. That's why I created the Clarity Quiz, a simple tool that helps you get to the heart of what's holding you back and shows you where you need to focus next. No more second guessing, no more spinning the wheels, just clear, actionable insights that give you the confidence to move forward, that next best step. Taking the quiz will give you a deeper understanding of your brand's true potential and what's standing in your way. And the best part, it only takes like 3 minutes, but the results, they could transform the way you approach your business and brand forever. So if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and you want to start showing up with purpose and clarity, go to wickedlybranded.com and take the quiz now. That's powerful. So how do you build a brand around that? How's your process been to build your marketing and brand around these concepts that help women understand exactly what you do and how you help them?
It's really an evolving process. So we niched it down now to single successful spiritual women. So a woman who works hard, she's a high achiever, she's driven, she's accomplished, she has money, but behind closed doors in her private life, not as successful. And then 25 to 55, even though we have really every age in my program, we have literally 20s to 80s. Like one of our newest clients is 74, another client's 34. The thing is, if you don't learn this information that I educate women on, which are two components, one, how to love yourself, and the other one, which is how to see signs of unhealthy behavior in the first date, during the dating process. So how do you see active addiction on date one? How do you see active narcissism on date one? How do you see control or behavioral issues on date one? Because if you don't know, you don't know. It doesn't come with trial and error, and it doesn't come with age. So I think what I do is like life-saving, because if you're in the wrong relationship, every other part of your life suffers. So to answer your questions on marketing, it's a really hard call for me. And I really think about it a lot because I do have big goals. Big goals are so big, and the marketing is a really tricky thing. So I niched it down to single successful women who are spiritual. You have to believe in God. Otherwise, I personally wouldn't be your right coach. How can you heal if you don't believe in something greater yourself? It's just, and then I'm expensive, so you need money because I give rapid transformation really fast and I'm worth it. And your life will change. Either you pay for like divorce lawyers, which by the time you're done divorce and moving fees and your therapist, way more expensive.
The investment upfront is a lot less than the investment at the end.
You know, the marketing's being really tricky, and also branding it between epic love and just my name, which obviously no one can pronounce, but I love my name because my name means life in Hebrew. And I'm very much someone who believes you should have a very like amazing life. You know how to do it. So maybe you can give suggestions on the marketing.
Oh, I have ideas already, but I feel like I would need to spend a little bit of time with you. I'd have to do a little bit of marketing therapy with you. I love that you're being extremely vulnerable in this and that it's not like where you want it to be yet. And that's exactly, I think, correlates and parallels our lives as humans. Like we're always evolving and growing, and that your branding and marketing needs to evolve and grow as you evolve and grow. And I love that you have a niche. I have a very similar niche. It's overwhelmed, overachieving female founders who are consultants, coaches, and creatives who are overwhelmed with this marketing thing. What do I do? What do I say? I've been checking all the boxes, but it's just not landing. It doesn't feel right. I don't know what to do anymore. But I still have an NFL pro football player as a client. It doesn't mean that I'm not working with men. It just means that they have to feel that way or connect with the messaging to be the right fit. And I'm perfectly okay. I love men, working with men as well. Just my niche and my focus is there. And there's nothing wrong with that limitation. And the other people who are supposed to be in your orbit will come to you. It doesn't matter. So I call it liberation as opposed to limitation. It liberates you to work with the right people that you really feel connected with and want to help. I love that you've gone niche and you like have your little square inch and you're going to go as deep as you can there. And then whoever is supposed to show up will show up. It's so good. That's a great start. And that helps clarify so many other things when you come to messaging and where you should hang out as far as your marketing concerned, because now you know exactly where those people are and you're able to communicate directly to them.
My messaging is clear. I don't have issues with the clients. My messaging is if you're a single, successful spiritual woman who wants to attract a healthy, stable partner and you want guidance so that you don't have abandonment, then I'm the right person for you. But when it's such a deep issue, there's so many different components. There's education, there's self-love, there's the dating, then there's the mental illness, which is prevalent. There's addiction, which is prevalent. I can niche down to, are you post-divorce and you dated a narcissist or an addict? I'll be the perfect coach for you.
It's a good niche, though. There's a lot of people who've been there. If you could serve 1,000 people in that niche, you'd be very successful. I guarantee you, especially with the divorce rate as high as it is. So I would suggest as you evolve, you will niche further. And that is not a bad thing at all. It's a good thing. Let's talk a little bit about marketing successes and challenges. So what has worked really well for you and what's been the biggest marketing mistake you've made, do you think?
Marketing has worked really well for me. I think people like me. I think it's because I'm vulnerable and real. I've done the work. I'm not speaking at them. I'm speaking with them. I have an amazing marriage. 99.9% of dating coaches have either no marriage. They have a half-ass marriage. And there's something wrong here if you're trying to make $1 million and you ask your auntie who only made $50K a year how to make $1 million or what you should do with your money, you're just going to the wrong person. So I have the education, bachelor's degree, 2 years pre-PhD, master's relicensing, all that. But then I also attracted addicts my whole life and how to go to the rooms and how to rewire my brain and how to rewire my soul and how to have a healthy relationship with God instead of a punishing relationship with God. So there was like so much work I did on myself, like endless and endless. I've recently realized that getting qualified leads is the answer to your second question, which what hasn't been working. So we've gotten so many leads, as most women are not in healthy relationships. And the question is now finding the qualified ones, because I'm not cheap because I'm that good. And I give so much rapid transformation. And I know I'm saving you so much money down the road. What they pay me is a fraction of what they would pay in the wrong relationship. So it's the marketing of finding qualified leads who are completely ready. There's a difference between wanting it and being ready to do the work, because I can give you information, I can't do your work. And two is where they have enough money to spend freely. It's not even that they have money. It's like they have money and they want to invest in themselves. What you were saying earlier, at some point you decided, I want to invest in me. And that is what you would be my perfect client. Okay, problem aware, has money, and then also wants to put it in you. And so those components is where I need more clarity in the marketing to get that right client.
That's a great way to position it, though. I love you have the 3 different very key things that need to happen to create the qualifications for yourself. So many people think I'm just going to help everyone and I'm going to help everyone just feel better. I think even the awareness of you have this abandonment wound or the trauma of something that's happened to you. And sadly, there's so many of us that are struggling with these exact things in the world. I think that just resonates so strongly. I put my pricing on my website because I'm like, if you're review, this is how much it costs. I have no problem saying that. And I'm not the cheapest and I'm not the most expensive, but you have to make an investment in your business. So my pricing's up there. I usually put it up there, be very clear about it. And the people who can will, and the people who can't won't. You do have to create the value in the messaging and marketing. A lot of consistency and persistency and just being really bullish about what you have to say and share is key. Confidence in that is key. And then how you show up on podcasts and things like that and how you repeat those messages and share your personal stories shows that you're the perfect guide for them to be the hero of their own story. Right? If you haven't read Story Brand by Donald Miller, you have to read Story Brand by Donald Miller. If you like books, that's a great book for you to read. It'll change how you even think about your niche entirely. Putting them at the center as the hero of their own journey, of them taking control of this situation, of them doing the work, of them creating this opportunity for themselves. That's how we position our marketing as well. Like you have an opportunity to create the exact business you want.
I love it.
Anybody who's listening could benefit from reading Story Brand. That is really how we position our marketing, especially with consultants, coaches, and creatives. You are the guide. You've been there. You've come out the other side. You know the pain. You know the process. You know the work that you did. And you are the perfect person to help somebody else who's going through this very similar thing.
100%. And so if any listener is single, looking for a perfect romantic partner that is not going to abandon you, I'm going to say my prices because it's a good time and it's a wonderful progress. And therefore, you don't have to go on my website. It's $2,900 for 3 months for a 90-day acceleration. It's close to $5,000 for 6 months, which is a group coaching plus monthly privates. And then it's $10,000 for the year, a year-long program of weekly group coaching, as well as privates bi-weekly. So just for those who are like, I wonder how much it costs. I wonder how much people charge. That's how much I charge. So it's for you to invest in yourself. This is a pitch to choose you and to love you because no one can do that for you. And it's a really powerful decision when you turn your energy from going outside to inside.
Yeah, I love it so much. You said you were like Kavana coaching before and now you're Epic Love. At what point did that identity, that change click for you? Was there something that happened that made you switch to that? Because I recently went from BC and Associates marketing to Wickedly Branded. That was a jump. So we did a lot of work and this 2 years of work helped me find my brand, from account coaching to Epic Love. And that's such a different vibe. So how did you get there?
Kavana coaching is dear to my heart, and it is my registered LLC. Kavana in Hebrew means intention. And the way that I've been able to change my life, heal myself, have really fantastic kids, have a great husband is because I literally put intention into everything that I do. When I buy a gift for someone, when I thank somebody, when I'm at a register, I literally have so much intention that I want to be a good person, that I want to connect with them, that I want to make eye contact. What do I want to be for my kids? Who do I want my husband to be before I had him in my life? And intention is a really powerful tool that most people don't activate, don't use regularly. But it's the best way to create and create with so much specificity. So that's how that came. Most people don't know that word. And I went to Funnel Hacking Live with Russell Brunson and Myron Golden and all the goodies. And it was just an epiphany that God gave me after Funnel Hacking Live that it's just epic love because I really have an epic love. And most people don't have love. And most people have what I would say, that's the slogan, go from to epic. So epic love is really what I'm here on earth to help women achieve, because it's not just to get a relationship. Like life can be that amazing if you learn how to love yourself.
It's an action of epic love. When we did Wickedly Branded, we wanted an action in our name. Be bolder, be a little sassy. And women have been said that they're witches over the years. And wicked also means awesome and other things. There's so many connotations to it. So what's one belief or like mindset or pattern you've had that you had to really release to fully step into this epic love kind of concept for yourself?
I really needed to believe that I'm good inside. That was my last straw. I was already so far in my healing process. I had already hired my own therapist, sat on the program rooms, had my degrees. I was really far along my healing process. But I attracted this one guy who was so close with everything that I wanted, but also not fully healthy. And we ended the relationship. So when I attracted him and then he was not, I was like, what do I need to learn? And what about him is the thing that I really feel that I need to learn about me, that I attracted based on who I am. So I did a lot of work on that just with myself. And it was that I need to believe I'm good inside, because I already thought I was amazing. Here's the thing about my clients. They were, do you believe you're amazing? I'm amazing. You love yourself. I love myself. But the belief that I'm lovable, 100%. The belief that I'm good inside, 100%. The belief that I deserve only good.
So good. I think any human, even my children, helping them understand that as a parent, I always joke that I'm probably going to mess them up in some way, shape, or form, but I also want to give them the tools to help heal themselves as well. I want to give them both because I don't think I was necessarily given those tools. My mom and dad love me, of course, but I don't feel like I was given tools to really process some of the trauma, process some of the fear, process. So I want to give my kids that. I want to give them a toolbox to be able to understand. So if someone's being mean, I actually have to do like a reality check. Are you really that way? Like I have them do the thinking, because you need to reframe it for yourself. I want them to come to the realization so that when I'm not around at some point, they can do it for themselves. So giving them tools on the other side of it as well, I think is super important as a parent. And I think we even do that with our clients too. We question their mindset, like some of those limiting beliefs. And this idea I wrote down, we're all effed up, and also I'm incredibly good inside. There's this dichotomy we live with in the world, and you can be both. You can be incredibly effed up and you can be an incredibly good person, and that you are lovable despite being effed up and despite your history and despite that experience, and you deserve good. I like all those things. I want to challenge my listeners. If this is resonating for you right now, if you're hearing this and feeling this, hey, I am a little bit that, up. I am good inside. If that's something you needed to hear, maybe somebody else needed to hear this too. So share this episode with your friends that you know are struggling with their identity and who they are. All of us women could use a little bit more of this than some of the other should suitcase stuff. So we need to combat some of that negative stuff out there and put some of this good stuff. So share it with people you know, your friends that need this. So I have a magic hat. It's purpley and glittery and super fun. And in the hat are questions. They're just fun questions, Chaya. They're more of a rapid fire. So it's quick answers. What's one thing you believed about branding or marketing that turned out to be complete BS?
I just hear so many different things. Some people say if you want to market, just be authentic. And some people say you have to have the right psychology. I see so much of it. But at the same time, I think you just have to think about what you resonated with. I don't know if I had one marketing thing that I was like, that's just not true. But I think you just have to say, what do I want to be in the world? Like when you spoke about eulogy and legacy, when I die, how do I want to be remembered? Just do it consistently every single day without an excuse, because we all just see truth, authenticity, and connection.
Authenticity is way overused, but that is it. When you're in alignment, when you know what your purpose is, when you are more intentional, intentionality is such a gift. It's so incredibly powerful. I have a very young team and I'm teaching them intentionality and some of that. And they're like, wow, I didn't realize. And like, it's changing them. If I had been more intentional at 22, but would my life be very different? If you could collaborate with any brand or entrepreneur, who would it be and why?
Brene Brown, because I'm very vulnerable and I love that I could talk about how sick I was and how successful I was. I love that I could talk about, not that we're going to use this because we're ending the podcast, but the death of my brother who was murdered in front of my mom because he didn't sleep for a few nights and the police came to get him stabilized and they were completely untrained in crisis or mental health issues. And out of fear, they shot him in front of my mom. And I had no qualms with vulnerability, with death, with life. But Brene Brown is a powerful source of vulnerability and connection and lack of shame. And I think that really is the key to having everyone believe that they're effed up and 100% lovable.
She's brilliant. I love everything she does. I totally agree with you. What's been your most unexpected serendipitous moment in business?
I went to Aspire about a year and a half ago, which is the largest business conference. It was in Atlanta where I live. And Jesse Itzler, who is the husband of Sarah Blakely, and in his own right, a phenomenal entrepreneur. And I didn't know who Jesse Itzler was a year and a half ago, but he came on stage and he brought a DJ and he basically spoke with his soul instead of with his brain. And he changed my life. It was a really powerful moment where I said, if I'm going to heal the world, then I can't have a private practice. I need to be able to go global. And it was through Jesse and his powerful speech and the fact that he didn't have to come on stage and change his life. Like he was going to get his 100K no matter what for showing up like everyone else. And there was a lot of speakers and not one of them even compared. And it proved to me and changed my life that when you show up with your soul and you genuinely love people and put your all in, not because you have to, because you want to and you can, you're that much more powerful, magical, and
magical. Yes. Speaking of magic, I have a wand, and the wand takes us in the past and in the future. We're going to go to 18-year-old Chaya. What is one piece of advice you wish Chaya had at 18 that you have now that would have saved her a little bit of grief and frustration?
18-year-old Chaya was so confused. I'm so glad that I was so screwed up and I'm still a powerhouse. I was still doing the best that I could. 18-year-old Chaya, I would say, you don't need men. You don't want men. You need you and you want you.
What would 18-year-old Chaya think of you now?
She's so proud of me. She thinks I'm the coolest.
Nice. If I wave the wand into the future, for the future when you pass away, what is the one thing, what is the biggest impact that you want to have made?
She's saved millions and millions of kids while she was alive. And after her death, that millions and millions of babies are going to be born into safe and loving, stable homes and how to love yourself and choose your best.
I love that so much. I'm going to wave the wand again, and we're going to go right to the present right now. Tell me what wickedly branded means to you, and how do you show up wickedly branded? And what advice would you give to our listeners to be more wickedly branded?
I think that you just have to realize you're not here to brand anything but your true self, that you are your best friend, you are your biggest fan, and that no one else is here to root you on but you. So instead of waiting for someone else to believe in you, to choose you, to figure out your perfect marketing, become that cheerleader for yourself and brand yourself based on you feeling bold and secure.
That's so good. So tell everyone, Chaya, where they can connect with you, they can learn more about your work, follow you. Where can they hear more about this epic love movement and Chaya?
So you can find me on Instagram at Epic Love Expert, or you can type in my name, Chaya Garcia, and you'll see a bunch of cool stuff pop out. Chaya is spelled Chaya. Garcia is Garcia. And if you want to connect immediately, if one of those courses sounded, if you're a successful, single, spiritual woman who is ready for that next relationship to be the relationship, then you can book a call with me at Connect with Chaya, Chaya.com. And again, the website's www.connectwithchaya.com. And it's my calendar link. And we'll actually hop on a call and have a great conversation about who you are, what your relationships have been like, and what you want the next one to be so we can get you there happily.
Thank you so much, Chaya, for sharing this time with me today and sharing your story and your wisdom. It's always so good to meet other women who've done things, that are going through things, that have invested in themselves and made improvements. When I get to talk to other people like this on their own journey, it's inspiring for me. So I really appreciate your time today. And to my listeners, I hope today's episode lit a little bit of a fire under you and gave you some new ideas. And most of all, inspired you to take action, whether you are a single founder or it's for your business. Because here's the thing, your message, you matter. Your work matters. And the world needs to hear more of what you have to say when you're fully aligned and fully healthy and happy. Marketing isn't just about visibility. It's also about the impact that you make in the world. It's about connecting with the right people in a way that feels true to you. So keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and keep making magic in the world. And hey, if you ever feel stuck, know that you don't have to do this alone. Chaya can help you, or we're here to help you turn that spark into a wildfire. So until next time, dare to be wickedly branded. Wow, what an incredible conversation we just had. I hope that this episode lit a little bit of a fire under you to finally bring your brand to life in a way that feels true to you. Remember, clarity is the spark, but activation is that fire and flame that keeps your message and your visuals and your strategy aligned, and the confidence that follows. So does that lovely thing called momentum that you've been waiting for. So if today's episode, if you loved it, make sure you are subscribed to the Wickedly Branded Marketing Podcast so you never miss an insight or a conversation. Until next time, dare to be wickedly branded.